Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah!
Yeah!
We got it! We got
You 52 booklets.
it! Somebody clip this one.
Welcome to Justice League Rewatch, the only show that knows that Batman can't fly at all. I'm here with the Phoenix Press. What's up, brother?
I gotta say, I love Kevin Conroy's line delivery on that one.
Yeah, that was fantastic because it's like you could tell because that's as close as Batman gets to panicking. But I'm like, dude, can't you just extend your cape and like glide? But okay, I'll go with it.
I mean, Batman, have you not played Arkham City?
Yeah, you could escape. So we're talking about The Dark Heart. This is a pretty cool episode because it's a straight up action movie and it's about the League are fighting self-replicating robots.
Nanobots.
Exactly. So the idea is
This is by the way, this is Kevin Feige's favorite episode of Justice League Unlimited.
it is. He said that?
No, it's a joke because Marvel it got obsessed with nanobots.
Oh yeah, that's true. So
That's a joke.
So it starts off with a young couple is like mountain climbing. He goes up to the top, and his girlfriend comes after him, and then he's gone, and then the robots are there. So the military shows up, doesn't do anything because this is a Justice League episode. This isn't an episode of U.S. Army Unlimited, although I would watch that show. So it's a full deployment of the Justice League. It's kind of funny. After last week's episode where the Amazo virus showed up and Amazo Android showed up and it was a full deployment. It's like every single week there's the entire Justice League.
See, if you were to ask me, hey, you could pick one episode of Justice League Unlimited to show to someone for them to get across what the show is about, it would be this one.
Really? In what way?
Because it really shows that it's an unlimited Justice League. It's not about the main core members. It's about like all of them coming together, like all the little different ones. It's like blink and you miss it cameos by like all these different things, and it's just very emblematic of the show.
True. We also learn, and the U.S. Army learns that the satellite has a super weapon on it. So the Justice League has a space laser.
Oh, so, Jared, you know General Eiling. Did his voice sound kind of familiar to you?
I gotta say, he reminded me of, for some reason, he reminded me of James Gordon from the Snyderverse. I can't put my finger on it.
I swear General Eiling was about 2 seconds away to asking if I had pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he's played by J.K. Simmons. Immediately when I recognized his voice, I was like, okay.
And of course, the Atom is played by Dr. Cox from Scrubs. So we got we got two big name actors in this episode. That's kind of important.
Yam shows up. The Atom has this episode has also become a meme because Wonder Woman is carrying him. And he's like, I need both hands, Dr. Palmer. So she puts them in between her boobs. That became a meme. And then Superman looks over and goes, lucky ant.
Let's be honest. Every red-blooded male wishes they were the Atom at that point.
Well, it's kind of funny. It's long been theorized that every male member of the Justice League has been in love with Diana at some point.
I mean, she's a wonderful woman.
She's a wonderful woman. That's true. But yeah, it's like, that's been seen as like an objectifying thing for Wonder Woman, and I'm like,
It's fan servicey. Let's be honest. It is.
You may have a point there.
I don't think it's objectifying, but it is very fan servicey. But here's the thing. They play it very straight. Let's be honest. Like she's just very matter of fact about it. They don't really put any attention to it. It's like, hey, I need both hands, and like, could she have done other things? Yeah, she could put, she could have put in many places. But like
in the ear like Superman did. That's why with this one, I'm less willing to defend this, because in the very same episode, they show you what she could have done.
To be fair, and that time, like, Superman's just flying, whereas Wonder Woman is doing action and her head's jostling a lot. Like, Adam could have got flung out of that ear very easily.
He could have still in her chest, because when she punches, she goes.
I just think, like, okay, even if you can't have logical explanation, I don't think it's like, yeah, it's fan servicey, and if you don't like fan service, that's fine. But I don't think it's like this great objectifying this crime against women, kind of thing. Like,
it's cringy at the very least. I'm like, oh,
cringe, like, yeah, like I'll admit that. Like you want to call it cringy, I think that's fair. Like, but you say it's like this great sin against a gender. Just frick off.
I will say, though, it is interesting that a lot of the fan servicey parts of DC happen in the DCAU. I'm just going to put that. By the way, what's interesting is that this episode is written by Warren Ellis.
Which, if you think about it, does explain a lot, because, like, Warren Ellis has kind of been Me-too'd.
Yeah, that explains it. But he was hired to write this due to the fact that the original vision for the show is to be an anthology. That's a little piece of trivia. But
also, Warren Ellis would go on to write the original Castlevania. So, like, take that as you will.
And he wrote the comic that is the basis for the Authority movie that James Gunn claims we're getting. Claims. Because I still don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, also, this is the final appearance of the Batwing.
Oh. Wait. What about that one where it's where like there's an episode coming up where it's like, I took a bullet for you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because like where he like goes to his bat plane, and I swear that's an episode at some point.
Maybe. Point it out when we get there.
Okay,
but so this episode again, you are right that the cool part about this episode is that, yeah, it shows the breadth of characters, and this is why JLU became like my intro to DC, because it's like, coming as someone that has only seen Batman and Superman movies, I didn't know that like Wonder Woman and the Flash exist, and then all of a sudden I see this and I'm like, who the hell are these people?
Yeah, even for a DC show, they do some super deep cuts, especially in this episode. Like Shining Knight.
Yeah. The Vigilante. The thing about this show.
They use the Vigilante a lot. Like, he shows up a lot in the background.
Here's the thing about this show, and this is why I think that this show is as iconic as it is. This is a hats off to the writers. And I'm saying this now because because in light of last week's episode, it's also like every Justice League member. This show manages to juggle a ginormous cast, and it doesn't overwhelm the audience member. That's why I think this is so great, because oftentimes if you have like a large cast, like what the Arrowverse ran into, it can like overwhelm and distract from the main plot. But with this, it's the Justice League. It's probably yeah, go ahead.
I mean, speaking of the Arrowverse, that's the big reason they created Legends of Tomorrow, is because they had so many side characters, nothing to do with, so they just kind of shuffled them off onto Legends.
Well, the other thing about the Arrowverse is that, like in the Flash, there were episodes that didn't feature the Flash. So at least with this, it's called Justice League. So you expect there's going to be other characters other than Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're still in there. Have you noticed how at least one member of the original the original 7 show up in at least one episode, even if they don't have a large role in it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like where like you'll have like an event in the comics that they don't think can sell, and they're like, put Batman in it, even though it makes no sense.
Like, remember we were talking to Sam Yu, on your, and I brought up Batman Soul the Dragon, which is a Richard Dragon movie where Batman is hardly in it, and I think he even pretty much confirmed what I thought was they just threw Batman in there to make it sell better. Like, am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said, as a matter of fact. And it makes sense. Here it's a little easier because all these characters are in the same continuity. So it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, perfectly.
But so the other thing that I do like about this episode is that, again, it heavily features like the Atom, and it makes like the Atom a character that you wouldn't think would be your ace in the hole. Your ace in the hole.
Yeah, he literally does heart surgery in this episode.
Yeah, on an alien robot. I wish he had said, "This is one for the bucket list."
Now, Jared, I'm pretty sure that's a sentence you never imagined you'd say.
Yeah, exactly. So here's another piece of trivia. In the comics, in this episode, Adam's DCAU base of operations is established as Boston. In the comics, Adam is a superhero / college professor who lives in the fictional city Ivytown.
It's basically Boston.
Yeah, and by the way, he is close friends with Carter Hall, Hawkman.
Okay, sure, that makes sense.
And what they didn't show in this, I don't think that they ever show you in this. All right. You know, one of Adam's powers, he can shrink so small that he can go throughout the like phone cables and travel to different locations, but just by following phone cables.
Okay.
Like he shrinks down, goes into the phone, and then he emerges on your side of the phone.
Sure.
And here's an interesting piece of trivia I don't think you would know. Adam is seen as in a petri dish fighting a cell-sized monster, which is car-sized to him. This is possibly a reference to the Frank Miller comic, The Dark Knight Strikes Again, where Palmer is found in a similar predicament. And this is I didn't expect to be referencing that book in this show.
Oof, that's a doozy.
I still think that book is kind of growing on me. A lot of the Dark Knight books are actually growing on me a little bit if you read them.
Yeah, we should probably cover the Dark Knight Returns comic book on Comic Watch at some point.
Absolutely, because that's like a definitive Batman book.
Agreed.
You're gonna love this. Superman's line before heading into the fray with Wonder Woman the Atom is possibly a reference to the last line of the Buffy spinoff show Angel. I forget what the line was though.
I forgot it either. Angel's actually a pretty good show. We might cover it on Rewatch, maybe.
But we have to. But that would mean watching something by He Who Must Not Be Named.
Why did you say that name?
I mean, we are going to be watching something by He Who Not Be Named after we finish Avatar.
I know.
Also, Buffy is on the docket, but we're doing BST first.
I'll take it. So, Nick, your overall thoughts on the episode? Who were your favorite characters and such?
I gotta say the Atom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the voice actor, the first time around, he kind of felt a little awkward, like he wasn't really sure about the role. But this time, I really liked the confidence he had in his voice. The voice actor did a really good job, and I really liked his character. Obviously, like, there's some really great moments, like, hey, I need someone to come pick me up. I can't fly.
Like at all.
At all.
I love that pause. The pause also is what makes it so funny, because he's like, I can't fly at all.
Yeah, I love the way Kevin Conroy delivers that line, just as so freaking flat. It's just like
the hilarious part. The way I would have done the scene, I would have had Superman catch him like Lois Lane, where he's holding him like this, and then Batman go, "Don't say a word about this, Clark." Because Superman would so do that. That's where I would write that. And can you imagine like a Snyderverse Justice League 2 where Superman catches Batman like that, and he's like,
"Oh yeah, God!" I just want to have Ben Affleck say that to Henry Cavill, please.
I just want Ben Affleck to say, "I need support. I can't fly at all."
Oh my god, yes.
I want that, and I want Henry Cavill to do the World of Cardboard speech.
Okay. Let's say you met Ben Affleck at a con, and you can only have him say like one iconic Batman line from any movie, any comic. What, like, it could be a speech. What would you have him say?
Okay, there's the speech in Tom King's Batman where Batman goes, every night I go out and I hear, and the criminals always say, this is the end, Batman. You're going to die, Batman. But you know what? I'm still here. I love that.
By the way,
either that, or I would have him say, I'm Batman, because he hasn't said it in the movies.
By the way, if we ever do get Dean Cain onto your show, which, by the way, I think
That
it's
could happen,
possible,
actually, because I have a connection with Gabe.
we should get him to like get Dean Cain to say the World of Cardboard speech.
Yeah, that would work. We could have a Superman saying, hey, there you go.
Like, oh my god, like, and the thing is, as like the one person who watched Lois and Clark as a kid, I had to be on the bat to be there.
Obviously, I would watch it. I would watch as much as I can to get prepared.
But yeah, that would be great. Like just to talk to Superman.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So I'll work on that. But so in terms of back to this episode, I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10 because it's an action episode. It's not like a big story episode. It's just like the Justice League show up and punch aliens. And you know what? That's awesome. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Despite the Atom having a wonderful seat in this battle, but still, I'll take that. How would you rate it, Nick?
I'd give this an 8.5 out of 10 because while the action is great, there's still not much like character stuff. It's pretty much wall-to-wall action, which while the action is amazing, it's still kind of a one-trick pony.
Okay, I could see that. Now, next week, we have a very special episode that I am going to tease for next week, and then we'll wrap up. All right. You are going to love this episode, Nick.
Really? Why is that?
Actually, wait. Let me see. Is this the one I'm thinking of? No, that's the week after. But in this one, I'm going to read you the description of the episode on Max. When Solomon Grundy rises from the grave, an old friend must come out of hiding and team up with the Justice League once more.
Wait, say that again?
When Solomon Grundy rises from the grave, an old friend must come out of hiding and team up with the League once more.
Wait. Is it Metamorpho time?
No, it's not Metamorpho time.
God dang it!
I'll give you a hint. It's gonna be a flapping time.
Swing and a miss, yes.
Hot Girl is showing up in this freaking episode, dude.
Oh, by the way, the episode where the Metamorpho comes back, we better call it It's Metamorpho time.
I don't think he comes back in this.
I thought you said he did. You said when we did the Metamorpho episode, you said he does show up in Justice League Unlimited. I remember he said
As a background character. He doesn't get a feature.
I'm sad now.
Yeah, and by the way, we are approaching the season finale. In fact, here's the cool part. And this is the way we're going to do this because the week after next. So it's going to be a two-parter. So what we're going to do, we're going to cover them both.
Okay.
It's the episode's entitled The Once and Future Things. In other words, when the gang meets the Batman Beyond universe.
Okay. Yeah, because I think we decided Epilogue is the one episode we're not going to cover. We're saving that for when we do Batman Beyond.
Yes, but this is the... Yeah, and so the plan is next week we have Wake the Dead, which is the Hawkgirl episode. Then we have the season finale. That will be live, and we'll be covering both parts of the thing. Just because logistically it makes sense to not have to do a long recap of the previous episode, previously on Justice League. And then that ends season 1 of Justice League Unlimited.
Wow. Also, we get to play around the Batman Beyond universe, so I'm happy.
Yes, exactly. So I figured you would like that. And we get to see the origin of the universe.
Ooh.
I'm going to say that. And yeah, so that's the end of this episode. And stay heroic. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know who your favorite cameo is in this episode, what your favorite part is, and which episode of Justice League Unlimited you're excited for us to discuss next. Nick, do you have any final words for the fine people at home?
It's Justice League in time.
Okay, so stay heroic, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.